Hi everyone, Pam Savage with Young at Heart Creations. I'm ready to paint with you. We're going to paint something a little bit out of season tonight because I have an order that I have to get done. We're going to be painting a snowman, and I know I've painted with you a snowman with just like this before. It's been a couple of years, or maybe a year. Maybe last season we did one. We did the big ones, but I've got to get this done. So, and I've got a very busy schedule this week. So I thought, well, I'm just going to paint it live with you. I've got so many new ones on here that maybe you haven't seen, you haven't painted this with me. So give me just a second. I'm going to get my Facebook pulled up here on my iPad so that I can see your comments. Be sure and say hi when you hop on. See if we can get it going here. Oh, I love it when it works. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm ready for comments. So be sure and say hi when you hop on. Today we are going to be painting this little guy, a little snowman with a hat on. Now I do have this template on my website, youngatheartcreations.com. It's a little bit different because this exact one is not my cutout. So the hat's just a little bit different on the one that I have on my website. So the template on there is $2 or $3, I can't remember. But you can get that off of my website. And we've painted him as a snowman, as a scarecrow, and also as a penguin. I think those are the three things. Oh, and a gingerbread man. So we've painted this shape. We have painted 4 different faces on it. But tonight we're going to do a snowman. Hi, Miss Karen. You got home fast. Karen was at our paint party today, and I hope they had as much fun as I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was my first party since we shut down for COVID, so kind of getting back in the groove of things, and the ladies just did an amazing job with their projects that they did. I was so impressed with it. So I'm going to this has got a lot of detail in it, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you down and let you get started, but go ahead and comment. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Let's see if I can get you close enough to see it. Let me pull it just a little bit closer. See if that helped any. Okay, I think we're good there. So this is a sample, the Kaufman Civic Center that I'm having a big event for in the fall. We're doing one side of it, we're doing scarecrow, and then the next time they're doing it as a snowman, and she wants a sample of both. I've got the scarecrow already done. I'm not sure where I've got him hanging, or I would show him to you, but he's on my website. But tonight we're going to be doing the snowman. So we're going to be doing a snowman in April, but that's okay. It's been cold here and it's felt like snowman time. So I'm going to start out with, I'm going to take a pencil and just, hi Anna. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming on. Hi, Miss Peggy. All right, so you did make good time, Karen. I cheated and went to IHOP and got a waffle. My husband and I have been kind of dieting and just watching a little better what we eat, but my feet were hurting. It's the first party I've done in over a year, and I haven't stood that long. So my feet were telling me about it. So I decided I deserved a waffle. So I went to IHOP and got me a waffle. Okay, so this is a hat brim. So I want to curve it up and give us a rounded for the face. Just very lightly. So we've made our face. That'll be our face area. Now let me see if it's round enough for me. I might want it to go even just a little bit higher. Let me see. I think I will. I think I'm going to make it arch up just a little more. So I'm going to go up just above that line. There we go. Okay. That's arched just a little more. I like that a little better. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the top. Whoops, I hit a bump. hit a bump in the wood, maybe go the wrong direction. So let's redo that. There we go. Okay, so we've got his little hat brim. We know where our face is going to go. Kind of hard to see with that light. Okay, so we're going to do the upper section here now, where his the tassel on his hat, I guess the cotton ball. So we're going to define that. Okay, come down just a little more. Okay, so I'm going to put that away until we need it again. So I'm going to do the first part here, and I'm going to be using Nita's paint colors, a couple in Apple Barrel tonight, along with my Deco Art. So Periwinkle Blue is Apple Barrel and from Walmart. So Periwinkle Blue, that's what I'm going to do for the top of the hat. My plate out here. It's almost got a purple tint to it. Really, really pretty. Okay, and I'm just going to grab one of my flat brushes. It's about a 1/2 inch flat. And I'm just going to fill that in. I have already base coated the whole thing white. It was just easier for me. That way the face will already be white. Just going to stand it up on its chisel edge to get that right up to where the hat and the tassel meet. We've got Mila, our other grand dog, today and tomorrow, and she's not at all happy that I'm in here without her. But when she's in here, she wants in my lap, and she's about 30 pounds and just doesn't fit in my lap doing something like this anymore. She used to sit up in my lap when I did this, but she's a little chunker now. Okay, and I'm using a Lazy Susan. Y'all that use your Lazy Susans and are always fussing at me saying, you need to use a Lazy Susan. I'm using my Lazy Susan tonight. Okay, so right where that pencil mark is, just going to kind of lay my brush flat. And if you'll notice, I'm using my arm, my whole body. I'm not just using my wrist to do that, to get that straight line. Ran off the edge a little bit there. There we go. I haven't used this paint in a long time, and it's got some little, as we call them in the paint world, some little paint boogies in it. Okay, while that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and do the edge. The way I do the edge is I pat it on so that I don't get it all over the back of my piece. If I'm rubbing it this way or that way, it's going to get on the back every time. For me anyway. So I'm just patting it on right up to where it ends with that cotton top. And then just kind of smooth it out where it got up on the top. Come around to the other side. I try to do this part of it last. When I'm doing a piece, I try to leave a piece last so that I'll have something to hold on to. I am a directional painter. Not only do I turn it different directions, but I'm always picking it up. Okay, so I'm just pat, pat, pat. And then right where it stops. Okay, let's go ahead and dry that. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jean. Hi, Miss Vicki. So we had some first-time painters today at the paint party, and I was just amazed at what they did. Of course, they didn't think they did very well, but we're always so hard on ourselves, especially a first-time painter. But we had some first-time painters, and every one of them did amazing. And I think once they get home and look at them away from everybody else's and in their own space, I think they're going to appreciate how well they did. Okay, just dry it a little bit. If you don't dry it in between coats, you're just going to push that wet paint around and you're not going to get coverage. Okay, so that's a little bit warm from that heat. So I'm going to cool it just a little bit. And we'll put our second coat on. Such a pretty color. I can't think what the flower... Oh, I know what periwinkles are. Yes, I plant them every year. I've just never had this color. Okay, let's go down around the brim. And Karen, that's on here, she drove 3 hours yesterday, almost 3 hours, and then spent the night in McKinney, which is about 25 minutes from us, 25-30 minutes depending on traffic. Spent the night in a hotel, and then drove this morning to Sherman to be at the paint party. I was so impressed and so humbled that somebody would drive and put that much effort into getting to our the paint party. So this has got a little bit of a purple tint, but it's also kind of got an icy blue tint to it, which is great for winter. I've also done some with the caps in red. Oh, they've had green. We did this at a paint party one time, and just about every color you can think of. And I even had one person painted the hat to be an Aggie hat. She painted it the Aggie colors and then painted the Aggie letter, Texas A&M, on it. Or is that the Aggies? I don't know. I'm not a sports person. So anyway, she had the school letters on it and gave it as a Christmas gift. It was an Aggie snowman. Okay, let's go ahead and dry that and see if we need one more coat. We may be okay. You just learned you're a directional painter. I am doing great. I'm feeling really good today. Just had so much fun. It was just wonderful being with the ladies. Found out that 3 of them are going to Tamara Bennett's Live in Dallas in July. So I'm so excited about that. We'll get to be together again. And they had some questions about it. If you are having questions about it, they were looking at the schedule and thinking that they weren't going to get to paint with all of the presenters, that they were only going to get to paint with half of them, depending on which day they were. But that's not the case. You will be rotating around Friday and Saturday to all of the crafters that will be instructing. So you will get to be in the class with every single instructor. Like you may be with one of us Friday, and then Saturday will be your turn. So if you didn't do it with like me, if you didn't do my class on Friday, then that means you will be in my class on Saturday. So everybody gets to do, you'll have the 10 presenters that are breakout rooms that you'll go to, but then you also, during the everybody time, which even the instructors will be in there, Tamara and somebody's going to have a craft. So you'll actually have like 12 times that you're going to be painting with somebody. Painting or lettering, hand lettering, whatever they're doing. You will get to do everybody's and then some. They're going to have vendors. So you can purchase all kinds of things, finished or unfinished. Just her swag bag, the early bird swag bag, if you sign up before April the 30th, her swag bag of gifts that you're going to get a $297 value. And if you sign up by Mother's Day, you get $150 off of the price. And it is, that brings it down to $447 plus your hotel and food. And that's on your own. If you want to bring your food, bring your lunch, I mean, you can do that as well. You can share a hotel room with someone and cut the cost in half for that. So my paint party today, I had it, and that pays for my hotel room. Okay, so we've got this periwinkle blue on here. And while I've still got that paint out, I'm going to add just a little bit of white to it. And we're going to put some polka dots, little polka dots on here. Now I got the big one out, but I think it's too big. Let me get this next size. We'll get the next size down. While I've got some paint on it, let's go ahead and mix just a little bit of white just to lighten up that color. I like to do it this way because I know the colors are going to match and coordinate with the base color. I don't have to worry about it clashing. Now that was quite a bit of white in there. I might add just a little bit of blue back, because I don't want it white. Just mix it up really good. Okay, and we shouldn't need any more than that. No bigger than this is. Okay, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of white. And we'll make a little bit of a white ring. On our dots. Boy, that really looks purple with that white in it. Okay, so got it on, but I'm also getting most of it off. Now I've got it on there, and I'm going to put just a little bit of white on one edge, just kind of at the top. Got a little bit much on there. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to put one here. I'm pressing down, twisting, lifting up. Reload. Pressing down, twisting around, lift up. You want to do it in a triangular. So let's see, I'm going to do a triangle there. Let's do All right, I'm just going to go ahead and do it on this white because we're going to paint over it with blue. So rather than get a sticky note and everything out, ooh, I got blue on it right there. So I'm going to do it right here. And then I'll wipe most of that off. Okay, so you don't want to pounce that way. Get a little bit more white in that. There we go. I'm going to grab a wet wipe. Got some on my finger. And so I'm going to go ahead and just wipe that off because we're going to paint over it anyway with a different color blue. So that's going to be just fine like that. Okay. Now I save my wipe till the end of my project if it's not too bad, and I just put it under a wet cloth over here on my table to keep it damp when, not if, but when I need it again, because I'm a messy painter, so I know I'm going to need it again. Okay, so we got it on here. Let's get a little bit of that white just on the edge. And triangle. Right there, and then we'll put a little one half on, half off right here. Okay. And I think we need one right here. Now, same thing, I'm about to paint over this, so I don't mind if I get one, get it on that. I can just wipe it right off. Another way you can do it is to get a piece of paper where you don't want it hitting, where you don't want it getting on it, and just put a piece of paper down and do it that way. So that's another way that you can do it. So I want a little more of that white. At the top there. Okay, good enough. Okay, so I'm just going to dump that and just put that in the water and let it be soaking. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off. Okay, so there we've got the top part of our hat. Now let's go ahead with our color and do the band. I do the face last, so all this is done and dry. So I do it last. I'll go ahead and draw this. So I'm not running my arm through it. Okay, let me look at it and see if it looks... I think I want one right there, and I've already put my dauber in the water, so I'll just get a new one here. I think I've got enough. Get that little yucco out of there. Put a little bit of white in it. Okay, so I want to put one right and I'm not just pouncing, I'm putting it on there, pressing down and bringing it around. this one. So I'm just kind of going over and putting a second coat on them. This is a pretty bold color underneath. And I like to go back around and clean up any places that that it's kind of jagged with my paintbrush. Okay, and then our other color is going to cover that, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so with the pure periwinkle, oops, that came out fast. Apple barrel paint is very thin compared to the Deco Art. It comes out a lot faster, so if you're not used to that, you can squirt a bunch out before you realize it. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up a small flat and just going to go around some of those edges. Now, a lot of people would not even think about doing this. It is your preference, but I like to just kind of clean it up along the edges. You don't want a lot of paint. You don't want a ridge. But I like to just clean those dots up a little bit. And my pouncers are getting really old. It's really about time for me to get some new ones. I have about worn them out. Okay, that's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I had some that were really kind of sticking out jagged there, and I wanted to clean it up a little bit. Okay, now then, a little more even with that other dot in there. Okay, now I'm going to go with Anita's, and it's Heavy Fog Blue. So here's the contrast. So we're going to go with the lighter color now. And I'm going to switch back to flat brush. Oops. And let's see which one I want here. I'm going to go with a little bit wider. This is a 1 inch or 3/4 inch, I think. Let's see. 3/4 inch flat brush. So larger than this one that I was using. It's larger than that. Okay, so let's go into that blue. I like Anita's paint. I think it's got a good consistency to it. Let's go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and do this up here so it'll be drying. Smooth it out, and let's go ahead and do the edges. Mila, the grand dog, is used to taking a nap. When my daughter gets home from work, she usually lays down and takes a little bit of a nap. just to recharge. So when I got back from the paint party today, and by the time I got the car unloaded with everything, she was ready for a nap. And I looked at her and said, I'm sorry, but Grammy's got a live tonight. I don't have time to nap. Although I think I would have been asleep in just a matter of a few minutes. I got up at 6, just a little after 6 this morning. When I've got a paint party or, you know, some kind of an event, I'm always so afraid that I will oversleep or not, you know, not hear the alarm. So I'm always waking up and checking it, waking up and checking it. Okay, we're going to let that finish drying on its own. And we'll go ahead and put a little, go ahead and do this one. The brim, I guess that's what you call it, the hat brim. Now this Anita's paint's a lot thinner than the Deco Art. I haven't used it in a long time. I actually forgotten how thin it was. Once you get that line to where it connects with the face, it's a little easier to get on there. And it will take more than one coat. So don't try to get it all, you know, in one coat. If it's not covering completely, don't try to force it while it's wet, or you'll just end up pushing wet paint around. And it'll take you, it just won't cover. So what happens is if it's still wet, it just scrapes the paint off that you just put on. Okay, I'm standing it up on its chisel edge, just standing it up straight, just to finish out that edge. Okay, I'm going to let it dry just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do the edges, and then we'll dry it and put our second coat on it. So again, I'm just patting it on the edges. Just meeting the two colors. And when I did my circle, my polka dot, it got a little bit of the polka dot color on there, so I'll go back and touch that up here in just a second with the periwinkle blue. I guess you could maybe do a Santa face also with this. I don't know. I haven't done a Santa face with it. Again, we've done Scarecrow, Snowman, Penguin, and Gingerbread Boy face. My template on my website, the hat is just a little bit different because this is not my design. This design you can purchase online. I got it from woodcuts, CUTZ.com. When you're Googling it, if you will just Google woodcuts, 2 words, CUTZ, Bear Creek, Alabama, they will come up. I love, love, love their wood. It's very reasonable on his things, and so I really like it. If I can get under that. Try not to touch where I got it wet. And I do see a couple of dots. Of that blue. Kind of just splattered a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to touch that up with a little bit of white. I'm just going to kind of dab it on. Just dabbing it on with my finger just to cover up that where it had splattered. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, let's go ahead and dry. Hi, Miss Lois. We're painting a snowman tonight because I had an order for one. Look at, see if that's really the color I'm wanting. Okay, I'm going to switch to blue fog instead of heavy blue fog. This one's just a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go over it with the lighter. I think I'm going to like the lighter a little bit better. We shall see. Okay, so let's try it with this lighter blue. See if I like that. Yes, I like that much better. So sometimes just a little hair difference in the color can make a big difference. And I'll show you a second on the brim. It's not a ton different, but it's enough different that it makes a difference. Okay, so on the brim, I'm going to do just a color down the center just so you can see the difference in the colors. Okay, so like the one that I just did a little bit better with this periwinkle. It's got just enough difference that it just coordinates a little better. The other would work as well, but I mean it would work, but I just think this one is what we're going for. Colonial blue would be pretty too. Deco Art, I think it's Deco Art. Colonial blue. So many blues on the plate. Keep wanting to dip in the wrong one. Okay, and see if I can do it flat or if I need to stand it up. It's very hard for me to paint flat. I always pick my pieces up, but you can't see it that way. So I try to do it when I'm live. I try to paint flat so that you can see it. So it's not super comfortable for me. So that's why you'll see me kind of hesitate a minute. I have to think about what I'm doing. At the paint party today, Stacy West won the door prize. She got the iron, the little mini iron that everybody's using to Mod Podge and do things with. And then Karen also won a door prize. Karen, if you're on here, I can't even remember what you won. I know you got something. Okay, add just a little bit of water because it was dragging, so I'm going to get it to come across a little smoother. And then we are going to need a second coat on it. Okay, let me let that dry. Hi, Miss Sharon. Hi, Diana. Hi, Kendall. All right, so we're getting good and dry here, and then we'll put our last coat on him, and then we'll do some shading. And put some lines across. The reason we're moving these around when you see somebody using them, if you hold it too long in one spot, this little heat gun, it's called a heated craft tool. It gets super hot and it will make your paint bubble. It'll bubble right off of that wood, so that's why you don't want to hold it in one spot too long. Okay, so one more coat should do it. I'm going to do this last so I can hang on to it. I am adding just a little bit of moisture to it. And then just smooth it out. Okay, and close to the face. And we also need to shade our face. I need to remember that. Sometimes I forget it. Anybody got big plans for the weekend? I have to look at my calendar. I know we're doing something. I just don't remember what we're doing. I know we're supposed to be somewhere at a certain time Saturday, but I don't remember where. So I'll have to look. Okay, and I'm just smoothing it out. And then I need to do the, I'm just calling it a tassel. I know it's not really a tassel, but that's what I'm calling it. All right, so that's all we need of that color. And to shade it, I'm going to use Deco Art Deep Midnight Blue. So I'm going to put that down, and look, we've got 4 different colors of blue. We've only used 3 though. So just to shade, I don't need much. And I'm going to put a little bit of blending gel. Doesn't take much of that either, just a couple of drops. And I'm putting some of that blending gel just to get a little more fluency out of, I guess that's a word, I don't know. But I'm going to load that in just to get a little more moisture. Just kind of helps that shading blend. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of my base coat color on. And then just on the bottom, I'm going to put a little bit of that blue. And then we're going to blend it underneath the brim where it meets. And just work it in. Just blend it out. And that's actually not the brush I got out to blend with. It's more of my base coating brush. Okay, so I've switched to Royal Lane Nickel. It's one of my cleaner brushes. It's got a softer bristle to it. A little bit of that blending gel. I'm just getting it a little wet on the end. Put the corner of my brush in the wrong side. Okay. we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And you're just fading it out. Blending it in. A little dry spot there. There. It's being stubborn. Okay, and then we need to do the edges. Dry it just a little bit so I don't wipe off what I just did. And I'm getting this just a little moist. And just blend it up in. Now, if I had not dried that, I would have just wiped off the shading that I just did. So you either want to just let it dry a couple of minutes or just take your dryer and dry it. Okay, now we need to do the other side. And this little tassel, and we'll do our lines right quick. Okay, good enough there. Let me add, I did wipe a little bit off right here. Okay, so there's our shading on that. Now we need to shade the tassel. So I'm putting a little bit of blending gel. That just helps it to kind of just fade out. Putting my base coat color on. Just on the very bottom tip, I've got the dark blue. Maybe not quite that much since it's a little space we're about to do. Okay, and I'm going to dry that just a little and then go around the top. Just on the inside edge. Okay, I'm going to show you what I just did. It's a mistake. See how I've got two lines here? I put the dark color on the wrong edge that time. So I had dark blue on both edges. Very fixable. Just grab your baby wipe, or you can paint back over it with your original color. All right, I think that got it. Okay. Yes, I think it's all right. It's hard to see with this ring light. Could even go with a smaller brush on this one. All right, I'm going to fade this one out just a little more. Okay, so we're good on that one. Okay, I'm going to take my liner brush and we're going to make the creases, just the little crease lines with the darker blue, with that deep midnight, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to it just to kind of get it down to about an ink consistency. I've got tape on this and it's coming off. I taped it to remind me that it's one of my favorites. Okay, so we're going to go straight down in the center one. And curve out to the right on the right side and to the left on the left side. Love this liner brush. It is an master's touch, and I think Hobby Lobby through Saturday has these on sale half price. They're awesome. Now you can paint like this, going to the left. If it's easier for you to go to the right, then just turn your piece to make it comfortable for you. So I'm going to start about the same space. I'm using my little finger as my guide to try to keep me steady. And we'll do one more. Okay. And I think we'll go ahead and do a white line right beside each one. So let me get some white. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Ooh, it's getting windy outside again. We've had so much wind the last 2 months. Okay, so I'm going to go, I think I'll do it to the inside, or outside. We'll do it to the outside. I didn't go all the way to the edge with that one. fix that right quick. And when you're using a liner, you want to put it in and twirl it out and get your point. Well, Hobby Lobby has been out of those brushes for a while. I have one but wanted to get a spare. Oh yes, I actually bought 3 of them. Thanks, Jean. You are so welcome. Yeah, hi Kimberly. I like the blending gel. It's a little bit better than water, I guess. I'm just so used to using water all the time. And I'm going to put 2 on this middle one. Just because it kind of makes it symmetrical, and I'm a symmetrical girl. They've got floating medium and blending gel, and I think it's the same thing. If there's a difference, I'm not aware of it. I think one company calls it one thing and another calls it the other. I'm not sure. The person that we need to ask that, and I haven't talked to her since. I think we were going to ask that last time. Sharon was at the party today. Okay, so just adding that white line just added another dimension to it. And then we're gonna put some little white dots there. But while I've got my white out, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a few little highlights where the highlights already are on these polka dots. Just to make them stand out a little more. Hi, Miss Rhonda Hunter. Okay, so that's what we've got going there. And let's see. Let's go ahead and shade his face so that I'll go ahead and do the polka dots up here after I shade his face. And we're going to shade it with some gray. And I didn't get my gray out, so let me grab some. We've got some gray sky. I don't want it super dark. Let's see if this will be dark enough. So this is Deco Art Gray Sky. Oh, do y'all hear my puppy dog barking? My grand dog barking at me. Okay, I'm going to try with this larger brush. I may be sorry and have to go back to the... She is not happy. Okay, so I'm putting some of the white on and then just going to dip in that gray. And I may have to go down to the smaller brush. Oh, I know. My husband put the baby gate down at the bottom of the stairs so she can't get up here to me. And he went outside and she's not happy. Okay, yeah, I think it's going to be okay. Just toning it down a little. Okay, now just feathering it out. Oh, we got it where it looks like a shadow under his brim. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the smaller brush and go around his face. Ooh, my eye's itching. All this wind. Everybody's allergies are going crazy. Okay, draw that corner so I don't wipe it off. And then we're going to go around the bottom of the face. You could also go around his face with a light blue to give him an icy look, maybe like this color blue. I like to keep my bristles really moist when I'm shading. And that's what that blending gel will do. Okay, and kind of twirl it around here and look at it. It's hard for me to see with that light. Okay, and I think we're good on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the face, and then we'll put our dots up here. We'll do our dots last so they have time to dry. Okay, so first thing I want to place, I want to figure out where I want his nose. So here's the center. So I kind of want to start it right at the center of the face. And I make mine bumpy. You can just make a triangle if you want to, but I like to make mine kind of bumpy. You can go with your center line here too. Come out to a point, come down about 1 inch, and then work your way up to that point. And there's our nose. Okay, so that tells me also now where I'm going to want my mouth. So I'm going to put a smile line over here. And it's a little bit high. So let me come down just a little bit. Okay, so we could leave his mouth just like that, or we can have him have an open mouth with a tongue in it. So we'll figure that out in a minute how we want it. Now I want the cheek lines for the where the eyes are going to go. So I'm going to put one about even with this cheek line, with this smile line. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. Make sure that's showing for you. He would be cute even like that, and then just put some eyelashes coming up. But no, wait, there's more. So I'm going to come about an inch, maybe up. I'm going to start right down here. I'm not going to start at the end. I'm going to leave me just a little bit of space. Come up. Whoops. I hit a ridge. And down. Same thing over here. Okay, we got them pretty close. Okay, let me look at them a minute. Okay, I think I want to bring this one over just a little bit. I think they're too far spaced. And I can still see the pencil line a little bit after erasing it, so I will go over that a little bit with white if I need to. I think that got most of it, but I'm going to bring it just a little bit closer. So, because this has got a lot of space on this side, and I don't want it to be all the way over here. Now you could do a side view that it would make it look kind of like a side view, but I think we're going to like it better this way. My pencil's got like something is broken part of it. I didn't like the way that one looked. So, right about here. Oh, better. Much better. Okay, he looks a little more even. He had one eye way over here. I mean, it just looked like it was way over here and he needed a third eye in the middle. So I didn't like that at all. All right, and I think we're good on the erasing. I can't see it. Okay, so the way I used to do it, I would, if I was on a blue background or something, but I would go ahead and draw my eyes and try to paint the white in on the sides. But if you will go ahead, if you're not doing it on a white background, if you will go ahead and just paint the whole eye white and then just put your black in, then your white is on the side is already painted. Instead of painting it and then trying to fill in the white, the little white triangles that we'll get with that, if you paint the whole eye white, then you'll already have that white in there and you won't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we need to draw our pupils. So I'm going to start at the top, curve in. Start at the top, curve in. And curve in. Okay, we're going to want some little eyebrows. one was too wiggly. All right, I'm not going to draw the eyelashes on. I'm just going to freehand those. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the carrot, and then we'll do the eyes. So for the carrot, I'm going to use Deco Art Canyon Orange, and it's a new one, so let me get the wrapper off of it. It's Canyon Orange. So we got a clean spot over here. Okay, I'm going to get a round brush to start out with to fill this in. It's a number 3, Low Cornell. Low Cornell is my favorite brush. I mean, every brush they have. Absolutely love it, or had. And I've been trying to order some online. I've looked everywhere. Well, they went out of business. I am so sad. They were my favorite. They last forever. Okay, so I'm just kind of outlining it with this round brush, and then we're just going to fill it in. Okay, and then to fill it in, I'm just going to use this round brush, and I'm just really, as we called it today in the paint party, we're smooshing it down. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on it to flatten it out. And we'll dry it and come back and put a second coat. Hi, Glenda. If y'all will, I would appreciate it if you would hit that sprinkle button. The S-H-A-R-E for Facebook spells sprinkle. Can somebody tell me why they won't let us say that word? They don't want us using the S-H-A-R-E word. I don't know why. So we just say sprinkle the love instead. But I'm at 787 followers. So that means we are so close to me sending out some happy mail. And so far, everybody that I've sent happy mail to has said, wow, you really send happy mail when you send happy mail. I do for the count. Now, if I'm just sending out some happy mail to be sending it for something else, it won't have quite as much stuff in it. But for getting to each 100, every time I get to a new 100 of followers, like when we got to 500, we sent out happy mail. When we got to 600, we sent out some. 700, and here we are already almost to the 800 mark. That's awesome. And that's by hitting that sprinkle button and sprinkling it on your media. If you haven't already hit the follow button, please do that. That helps me with my algorithm. And you can also go up to the little bell at the top of the video, or after I've published it. I don't know if you can right now, or the 3 little dots, and you can click on get notified, get notifications for when I go live. Okay, I'm going to put one more coat of this orange on. I realized, ladies, those of you that were at the paint party today, I realized the lady that stepped in, I'm not going to say her name on here because I'm about to tell a story about her, but one of my co-workers came in and took our photo, our group photo for us at the bank, and she walked in and I introduced her. This is so-and-so. The only thing I can say about her is don't ever ask her to make your coffee. And that is because one of the branches that I worked with her at, one of her duties every morning, she was a loan secretary to the president of the bank. And she always had the coffee going for everybody when we got there. She would get there early for other reasons. And so she would go ahead and make the coffee. Well, one morning she made the coffee and we were trying to get everything ready before we had to open the doors, you know, to let customers in. They were already waiting outside. And her boss gets there, our boss. And all of a sudden he comes out of the break room and he said, "Who made the coffee today? Somebody come help me." She had poured 2 pots of water. She forgot she'd already put the water in. And so she poured, it held 2 pots of water. I don't know how it held that much, but coffee was overflowing everywhere, all over the counters, all over the cabinets, all over the floor, just everywhere, all over under the microwave. And so she had forgotten somehow that she had already put water in there, and she got a double dose of water in there. I don't know how she did it, but she did, and it was everywhere. And so, excuse me. So everybody pitched in to clean it up and got it all clean. Well, we moved over to another branch because they were closing our branch out. And just different reasons, moved over to a different branch. We were teasing, you know, okay, just don't let her make coffee over there. Of course, we never let her live it down, and she was always picking on us about everything. She was so much fun. And she had been over there just a few weeks at the other branch, and she did the same thing. And they had to clean it all up again. So needless to say, she will never live that down. That's what she was known for. And she was such a jokester. She was always pulling pranks, you know, pranks on everybody. And so she had it coming. Okay, I'm going to take Apple Barrel Apricot and do a little bit of highlighting. You could do yellow, just really any color that's lighter than that orange. But you could mix a little bit of white in the orange. But I'm just going to take this lighter color orange and do a little bit of shading on it. Highlighting, actually. Shading is when the color is darker. And let's get a little bit of water on it. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of that base coat color. This brush may be a little bit too big. We'll see. May need to go with the smaller one. Well, let's see if we can do it. Okay, I think I'm going to need a little bit lighter. Let's see, that's folk art. Okay, let's just go ahead and go with, this is cadmium yellow. I think I've already got one that's open. Here's one that's open. We'll go with the hay color. It's a little bit more yellow, and I think it'll give us a little more highlight. You could even do it with white, but I just think the yellow color gives it a little more dimension, I guess. Okay, so base color. And we'll go with that yellow. I think it's going to show up a lot better. I can see that barely, so I know you can't even see it. Okay, much better. You could even do snow on his nose. Oops. I got a little bit carried away there with that wide brush. Okay, so it's got a little bit orange there. I'll touch up with white later. And it's just because the brush was so wide. Stand it up more on its end. And then we're going to come over it with some brown. Just to give it its wrinkles. So let's use Apple Barrel Nutmeg Brown. And we will use, I think we can just use that same brush. And just a little bit on the end. And everywhere it curves down, I'm going to make a little line. Okay, this brush is just way too wide for that. I go with my little bitty one. Let's use, this is a number 6 with plaid. See if we can get a little bit better with that. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to come back with a little bit of orange and clean that up where that big brush messed it up. Okay, and I'm going to also go do the same thing on the bottom. Put a little moisture on it. Again, I could use the blending gel either way. Okay, so we're going to come on the bottom and where it comes up. Make a little line coming up. And let's go ahead and put some of that gray. Right behind his nose. Oops, I see some gray here. Got on my finger. And we'll come under his nose a little bit with it. Just to make it look like it kind of sits off the face. Okay, so I think I'm going to come back with just a little more of that yellow, just barely. Just a little bit at the top. Okay, and we'll kind of highlight it here in the center. All right. You could also use a liner brush to do the little brown lines. Okay, so now let's move to our black. And I just grabbed the Anita's. We'll see how I like it. I might not like it if it's too thin. Okay, and I'm going to get a small let's try okay, I've got a #1 Royal Lane Nickel. #1 round. But I do want my little tiny liner brush first to do the cheeks. Before we do that, and I always forget, I want to put some cheeks underneath these lines before I do them in black. So I'm going to go with Taffeta Pink, and it's Anita's. Okay, and I'm going to use that same brush that we were just using on the nose. And a little bit of white on there. And just a little bit of pink. And we'll go right under that eye. Okay, I'm going to come back and soften it up a little bit. Had a drip of water go down in it. Okay, a little more on the underside of that. take a little bit of that white and just kind of clean it up a little bit there. Soften it up. Oh no, there goes the train. Puppy dog's gonna start barking. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, now we're going to take our little tiny liner brush, little bitty, and come in, add a little bit of water. Make sure I don't have any drips on the ferrule. The ferrule is the metal part that holds the bristles. Okay, and so we're going to make the cheek line. And then we're going to go ahead and outline the pupil. I'm going to outline it and then I'll fill it in. And see, already having that white underneath, we don't have to worry about filling in those sides. Okay, let's go ahead and do the eyebrow. And let's work on this one. Oops, I went down too low. So let's clean that up a little bit. I went just below the cheek line. So I've got a little black sticking out there. So I'm just thickening up the cheek line a little bit. Got my bristles moist again. And the eyebrow. Okay, since we've got the black already out, let's go ahead and do eyelashes. Okay, so I really want it thinned down. A little bit of water. Twirling it out. Okay, and I'm going to start at the top, and we're going to do a long one, and then a short one. A long one, and short, and long one straight out, and then kind of curved. Let's put some little bitty ones in between. Little bitty ones. Okay, and I see some pencil mark over here I'm going to take off. I'm going to dry those real quick so I don't rub my hand in them. So you want the eyelashes over here curving out to the right, and over here curving out to the left. So long one, short, long, short, and we'll put some little ones in between. More over here. Just to fill it in a little bit. Okay, and then we'll do the ones out to the side. So one coming straight out and curved. Okay, now let's fill in the center, and then we'll do our mouth. So for the center, I'm going to use, and I'll probably switch, but I'm going to try this little little flat that I've got, if the bristles will stay together. It's just a small little flat, but I might change my mind. We'll see. So we're just filling it in with the black. You could also do blue eyes. I have one young girl that was doing this at a party with me, and she did beautiful green eyes. Oh, they were so pretty. Okay, so we'll let that sit while we do this one, and then we'll come back and we'll dry it and put a second coat on it. You could easily do this with a round brush as well. And I got out a little bit, so I'm going to clean that up. Looked like he had a growth on his eye. So this is a little intimidating for a first-time painter, so I hope they don't get stressed out when we do the event in Kaufman. But once they do this, they should feel like they could do anything. Okay, so those are good and covered. Let's dry them and we'll put our little twinkle in the eye. And I'm going to use my small liner brush to do that. And then we just need to do the mouth and the dots up here. And we're getting close. Okay, so we're going to go with white, and I'm going to water it down again just a little bit. Just really twirl it on there using that very tiny little liner brush. And we're just going to make a T, long, and then a cross. So you've got a T. Now I'm going to do it sideways short. Okay, so we've got our twinkle there. Long, down and across, and then little ones across the middle. A little brighter. Okay, and let's put our dot in the middle. Now you can use the end of your handle on your brush. I'm going to use my daughter. I got these at Hobby Lobby, a set of 3, and so you have 6 different sizes. They come in a package of 1 at Dollar Tree for $1.25. The white's getting a little dry. Okay, so we're going to put just a dot right in the middle. Okay, and there are the eyes. Now let's go ahead and trace out the mouth, or paint out the mouth with the long liner brush. So I'm going to put some water in the black. Okay, and I'm going to really load it up. Not to the metal part. I don't want it getting in the metal part. Okay, and let's make... Okay, do I want some pink in there as well? Let's dry brush a little bit of pink on there real quick for the cheeks. So I'm just going to get a stiff little brush. I'm going to put some pink on there. I'm going to get it on, but then on my napkin over here, I'm going to get most of it off. I did not get the bristles wet. And I'm just what we call dry brushing it on. I'm doing it upside down, y'all. So, okay, so we just put some little rosies there in his smile lines as well. And you do not have to do that. I just like to give a little more happiness, I guess is what you say. Happy little snowman. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dry my dots, because if I don't, I'm going to smear them. You don't want to hold it down close. You want to hold it up, especially if you're using a hair dryer. The hair dryer blows really hard. This blows very soft. But if you're using a blow dryer, a hair dryer, and you've got dots, it's going to blow your dots everywhere, because it's just a little puddle of paint. So you want to be very careful with that. But I want to get them just dry enough that if I accidentally rub my arm across them, they're not going to go anywhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this smile line. I think I want to do it this way. Okay, and notice how I'm using my little finger to guide me. Okay, now we're going to go around. And I'm going to do it upside down. I'm going to start, let's start on this side. I'm going to add a little more water. And we're going to go, I'm kind of almost straight up and down. And remember, we've got a pencil line mark there, so I'm kind of going by that. If I get off of it a little bit, I can easily erase the pencil mark. And then lift up right before you get to that little cheek line or smile line. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let y'all vote. Do you think we should leave his mouth like this? I'm going to clean up a little bit where that black got off. Mouth closed like this, just a smile, or mouth open? Which do you want? We can do it either way. Adding just a little bit of white highlights in there. Okay, so we can do mouth like this, or we can do mouth open. What do you think? Hey, Cindy. Okay, everybody, mouth open or mouth closed? I'm going to erase a little bit of that pencil mark. Okay, while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and do some little snowflakes on his top of his hat. And do some little bitty ones. So we're going to do up, across, and down. Let me switch to my little one for that. Okay, somebody comment. Open or closed mouth? Okay, I'm doing up here. Make a T and then an X with smaller ones. I think Puppy Dog gave up. She's not barking now. She is a Grammy's girl. All right, let me see if I want more than 3 there. Yeah, let's put one down at the bottom. Let's put a snowflake right here. Okay, and then we'll put dots on them. Now you could even put dots around each one, and we can do that. Just adds a little more. So dot. We learned today in the paint party how to make Dolly Parton hearts using dots. Voila, we have snowflakes. Hi, Nene. Nene, more. All right, we had, let's see, we're gonna do some dots down here. Let me look at him. I'm going to decide. Do I want a mouth open or do I want a mouth closed? I think I want a mouth open. So let's get some black. And let's give him an open mouth. Okay, so I'm just going to start right under this smile line. And look how just that one line changed the whole look. Changed the entire look. Okay, let me get a flat brush to fill him in with. Ooh, I'm not going to like that one, I can already tell. Get my round one. Feels a little better. Okay, no pressure up there in the skinny part, and then I flatten it out when I bring it around. Trying to remember if I put a tongue in the other ones. Okay, I'm going to dry that and do another coat on it. Okay, now we called this today the pressure difference in pressure, no pressure, and then you smoosh it out. And that's how we were making our flower petals. So the more pressure you put on it, the fatter your line is going to be. Okay, and while that's drying, we will put our little dots up here. Now, typically, I would use my special tool that I have that makes the 5 little dots. Looks kind of like a flower, but this is a sample of what we're going to be doing at the paint event in Kaufman. They're not going to have this little tool. This is the only one that I know of in the world. So they're not going to have this. So I'm just going to put dots because I don't want to do something that they're not going to have. Now you can get the same effect by doing dots like with the end of the pencil, with the end of your paintbrush, with the daughter here. I mean, just the single daughter. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I think we're just going to do dots because this one is so detailed. I think we're just going to do some little dots on it. And that's something that will be easy for them to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna dip. So it's kind of drippy. And just start putting, oops, I forgot one thing. Yes, we need to do it. Okay, we're going to take our liner brush and we're gonna do some lines around the hat before we do our dots. Okay, so let's see how I did my other one. Okay, so we're going to do some just little squiggly lines. Just around the edges. Let's go ahead and do it here. All right, ran out of moisture, ran out of paint. Okay, I'm trying not to get in those little dots here. Okay, I want to do a little highlight up here. And let's put some dots on and change the look of the hat. And I'm just dipping after about every 2 or 3 dots. I'm doing them in a triangular shape. So everywhere there's dots, I should be able to, if I took a pencil and connected them, I could do a triangle. There's a triangle. Okay, that made a triangle. That just helps to keep you from getting too many in one spot. This will be optional. They do not have to do this. They will be doing it with the end of their paintbrushes because I don't have, I think there's supposed to be like possibly 40 painters and I don't have 40 daughters, so they'll be using the end of their paintbrush to get their dots. I could sit and do this all night long. It is so relaxing. Some people it would drive crazy, but I just like repetition. And we'll do one right there and right there. And I'm starting in different spots so that I don't have a pattern. I'm just kind of randomly placing them. All right, there's a triangle there. Almost done. And we'll look at him and see if there's anything else that we need to do. Thank you, Vicki. Open mouth, Karen. All right, you won. Okay, we've got Karen Moore and Nene Moore, Who, Nene, are you friends with who I'm going to see in Laurel, Mississippi? While these dots are drying, I'm going to slip over here and see, I think, my scarecrow. I don't think I have him packed for the craft event. I'll get the scarecrow. I don't have any gingerbread men left, I don't think. I think I sold all of those at the craft show. I need to do some more. Let's put a couple more there. Make those a little bigger. Okay, let me see if I've got the little scarecrow face over here. Okay, I do. All right, so it's same shape, the same wood cutout. Put him turned around here. Let me bring you up here now. I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Take my glasses off so I can see. I was too close. Okay, so there he is as the little snowman. And again, you can do his face any color. Oh, that is so, that light is so bright. I'm going to dim the light just a little bit. We're going to dim the lights. It's just glaring. See if that maybe helps with the colors. A little bit. He looks really purple, but he's not. It's very, very blue. That kind of helps you a little bit. See it. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. For me now, it's like nighttime in here. See if that helps a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so there's the eyes. We've got some cheeks. I might put a little more pink on his cheeks there. So there's the snowman. Here he is as the scarecrow. Now to do a double-sided, I use these tiny little eye hooks. They're very, 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 very tiny. And you just have to be very careful when you put them in, not to split your wood. I usually start the hole and then put them in. But he's the scarecrow. That's the other one we'll be doing at the Kaufman Civic Center. And that's open to the public. So if you live anywhere near Kaufman, you're welcome to go on the Kaufman Civic Center and sign up. And then here's the little gingerbread boy. Oh, I hope to get to see you too. I can't wait for the Dallas event. I know 3 more people are going. Okay, and then I don't have the penguin one. I also did one as a penguin. So, same thing. Same cutout, just different face. I made this one look like a little boy by doing his mouth up and curving it. It just made it look more like a child. You can do a side view. Now I have each one of these templates, I believe, on my website. I think they are. Not the blanks, but the templates. I think they're on. I'm pretty sure they're on there. Yay! Karen got your ticket. I'm so glad. All right, but anyway, so that I don't have the penguin on here, but I mean it already sold. But there you go. And this is the double-sided one. Usually when I do the double-sided ones, if it's I usually do those for 20 or 25. I don't remember. I have to look, because it's like paying for two different, you know, ones. I mean, you don't have as much wood, but you've got as much work into it. So there you go. Now on these eyes, I put a little bit of blue on the outside of the black. Just a little line of blue on there, and that's another little look. And we've got a dot up at the top on there. Just another little highlight for the eye. Did not put blue around these eyes, but I probably will, since he's all blue. Probably will do that on him. Okay, so that's it for tonight, ladies. Just a little over 2 hours, but that's a lot of detail. So I'm wondering how we're going to do that at the class and not be there for 6 hours. So I've got to get it down and get them going. But that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm a little sluggish tonight. It's been a busy day. Got up at 6, got everything ready, packed in the car. My hubby helped me and had so much fun with the paint party. I just had so much fun. And I did have one boo-boo, Karen. She knows. Karen had signed up. In fact, Karen Moore on here, she was the very first one to pay for the party. And somehow I did not, I've got her on my list. I came home, she was there on with the little slips that I print out. Had it written down, but for some reason I did not get her on the party list for today to take my list. So luckily, when I go to a paint party, I always take at least 1 and sometimes 2 extra of everything that we're doing, just for that reason, in case I've messed up or somebody comes that, I've even had them come that didn't register. They thought, well, I thought it would be okay just to come. You know, so I just always make sure that I've got something extra. So luckily I did, and Karen got to paint and even won a door prize. So I think she had fun. I hope she did. I sure enjoyed meeting her. Okay, ladies, I think that's it for tonight. I'm gonna go see if I can get that puppy happy. She's not happy when Grammy is out of sight. She just does not like it when I'm not where she can get to me. So I'm going to go love on her a little bit. Thanks so much, and thanks again to all of you that came today to the paint party. I just absolutely enjoyed it so much. It was just so much fun meeting you, watching you paint, and watching you do things you didn't think you could do. Oh, thanks, Karen, so much. All right, ladies, I'm going for tonight, and might hop back on here. I'm not sure what I've got to do tomorrow, but if I do, I'll notify you 5 minutes ahead of time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.